I stared at my reflection in the bridal boutique mirror, the white dress hugging my body perfectly. Everything looked right. The dress, the ring, the life I'd built with Daniel. But my phone buzzed in my purse, and I already knew who it was. Maya, you look absolutely stunning. Jess squealed, clapping her hands together. Daniel is going to lose his mind when he sees you. I forced a smile, guilt twisting in my stomach. You think so? Are you kidding? That man worships the ground you walk on. She grabbed my hands. I'm so excited for your bachelorette party tomorrow night. Downtown club, VIP section, the works. It's going to be legendary. My phone buzzed again. I pulled it out, pretending to check the time. Ryan. Can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? Who's texting? Jess asked, peering. Over just work stuff. I lied smoothly, deleting the message. You know how it is. The boutique assistant helped me out of the dress and I changed back into my regular clothes. As Jess chatted about party details, I texted Ryan back quickly. Me. Tomorrow night, downtown. I'll send you the address. Just show up around 11. I shouldn't have done it. I knew I shouldn't have. But something in me craved the danger, the rush. The feeling of being wanted in a way that felt raw and uncontrolled. That night, Daniel made dinner. He'd left work early just to cook my favorite pasta, opening a bottle of wine and lighting candles. 3 more days, he said, raising his glass. 3 more days until you're officially stuck with me forever. Forever sounds pretty good, I said, clinking my glass against his jaw. He reached across the table and took my hand. I know I'm not always exciting, Maya. I know I work too much and I'm probably too predictable. But I love you more than anything in this world. His words should have filled me with warmth. Instead, they made me feel like I was suffocating. You're perfect, Daniel, I whispered. And he was. That was the problem. The bass pounded through my chest as Jess handed me another drink. To the bride, she shouted over the music. I forced a smile, my eyes scanning the crowd for Ryan. What the hell was I thinking, inviting him here? This place is incredible, Jess, Claire said, sipping her Cosmopolitan. You really outdid yourself. Only the best for Maya, Jess grinned. She's marrying the most perfect man alive. She deserves a perfect send-off. Each word felt like a knife. I downed my drink. Vanessa, my coworker, leaned in close. Are you okay, Maya? You seem tense. Just sweating nerves, I lied. Then I saw him. Ryan walked through the crowd like he owned the place, his eyes finding mine immediately. My heart raced. Who's that? Claire asked, following my gaze. Oh, that's Ryan. He's a photographer I work with sometimes. The light came easily. Too easily. Ryan approached our table, all confidence and charm. Maya, hey. I didn't know you'd be here tonight. Ryan, hi. I stood up, my body already gravitating toward him. Everyone, this is Ryan. He does photography for some of our campaigns. Nice to meet you all, he said smoothly. Congratulations on the wedding, Maya. Thanks, I managed. Dance with me? He asked, for old time's sake. I should have said no. Instead, I said, sure. The dance floor was packed, bodies pressed together in the dim light. Ryan's hands found my waist, pulling me closer than appropriate. You look incredible tonight, he murmured in my ear. You shouldn't be here, I whispered back, but I didn't. Pull away, you invited me. I know, that was stupid. Was it? His hand slid lower. Because you don't seem to want me to leave. The music shifted, something slower and heavier. We moved together, and I forgot where we were, forgot about Daniel, forgot about everything except the electricity between us. Let's get some air, Ryan said. I followed him to a quieter corner, away from my friends. The moment we were alone, his lips crashed into mine. I kissed him back, desperate and reckless, my hands tangling in his hair. I can't stop thinking about you, he breathed against my mouth. This is the last time, I said, even as I pulled him closer. After this weekend, I'm getting married. It's over, is it? He challenged. Because it doesn't feel over. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I registered a flash. Maybe a phone camera, maybe just the club lights. I didn't care. In that moment, I didn't care about anything. When I finally returned to our table, Jess was laughing with Claire. Vanessa watched me with an odd expression, but she didn't say anything. Where'd you disappear to? Jess asked. Bathroom line was crazy, I lied again. The rest of the night blurred together, more drinks, more dancing, more stolen glances at Ryan across the room. By 3 a.m., I was stumbling into a cab, deleting text messages from Ryan. My head spinning. When I crawled into bed next to Daniel, he stirred slightly. How was it? He mumbled, half asleep. Perfect, I whispered. It was perfect. I woke up with Daniel's arm around me and a hangover splitting my skull. For a moment, everything felt normal. Then the memories crashed back. Ryan's hands on my waist, that kiss in the corner, the recklessness of it all. Good morning, beautiful bride-to-be, Daniel said, kissing my forehead. I made coffee, and I picked up those pastries you love. Nausea rolled through me, and it had nothing to do with the alcohol. You're too good to me. Impossible. He handed me a mug. So Tom and my mom are arriving this afternoon. I thought, we could all have brunch together? Sure, I managed, my phone buzzing on the nightstand. Daniel glanced at it. You're popular this morning. I grabbed it quickly. A message from Ryan with an attached photo of us dancing, his hands on my hips. Our bodies too close to be innocent. Ryan, last night was amazing. Can't wait to do it again. My fingers shook as I deleted it. Everything okay? Daniel asked. Yeah, just sending pictures from last night. The lies were getting easier and easier. In the shower, I scrubbed my skin until it hurt, trying to wash away the guilt. But it clung to me like a stain I couldn't remove. Brunch was torture. Margaret, Daniel's mother, watched me with cold, assessing eyes. She'd never liked me, never thought I was good enough for her perfect son. So Maya, Margaret said, cutting her eggs with precision. Are you ready for married life? It requires commitment, loyalty, sacrifice. I understand that, Margaret. Do. You? Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Daniel is my only son. I want to make sure he's marrying someone who appreciates what she has. Mom, Daniel interjected. Come on. I'm just saying, some women don't know a good thing when they see it. Before I could respond, Tom arrived, Daniel's best man and childhood friend. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and his handshake was firm to the point of aggressive. So you're the famous Maya, Tom said. Daniel talks about you constantly. All good things, I hope. He thinks you're perfect. Tom's eyes held mine a moment. Too long. I just hope you feel the same way about him. Of course I do. Daniel squeezed my hand under the table, oblivious to the tension. Oh, and Emma's flying in tomorrow. She's so excited to finally meet you properly. His sister. Another person to lie to, another person who would eventually see through me. I can't wait, I said, the words tasting like ***. My phone buzzed during the rehearsal dinner, an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me look. My blood turned to ice. There was a photo of me and Ryan kissing in that dark corner, his hand on my face. My expression unmistakable. Unknown, does Daniel? No? I couldn't breathe. The elegant restaurant suddenly felt suffocating, the chandeliers too bright, the laughter too loud. Excuse me, I managed, standing abruptly. Bathroom. Jess looked up, concerned. You okay? Fine, just need a minute. I locked myself in a stall, hyperventilating. Who took this? Who sent it? I stared at the photo, my own guilt reflected back at me in digital clarity. Was it Claire? She'd been watching me all night. Or Vanessa, who looked uncomfortable when Ryan showed up? Someone at the club? My phone buzzed again. Unknown. You have 24 hours. 20-4 hours to do what? Confess? Call off the wedding? My hands shook so badly I could barely type. I should tell Daniel. I should walk back out there and end this before it got worse. But when I returned to the table, everyone was laughing at something Tom had said. Daniel pulled out my chair, his hand warm on my back. You sure you're okay? You look pale. Just wedding jitters, I lied. Margaret was watching me with that knowing look. Tom was in the middle of a story about their college days. Jess was slightly drunk, giggling at everything. Claire was checking her phone, her expression unreadable. Maya? Daniel squeezed my hand. You're a million miles away. Sorry, I'm here. But I wasn't. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, and I couldn't see a way out. Later that night, alone in the bathroom, I texted Ryan. Me, someone knows. We need to stop. Don't contact me again. His response was immediate. Ryan, we need to talk. Tomorrow.me. No, it's over. I'm getting married, Ryan. Maya, don't do this. We need to talk face to face. I deleted the entire conversation, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I crawled into bed next to Daniel, who was already asleep, peaceful and trusting. I didn't sleep at all. 24 hours until I became Mrs. Brooks. I should have been excited, glowing, floating on air. Instead, I felt like I was drowning, and I tied the weights around my own ankles. Emma arrived at noon, all sunshine and warmth. She threw her arms around me like we were already sisters. Maya, oh my God, you're even prettier than your pictures. I'm so happy Daniel found you. I've always wanted a sister. Her genuine affection made me want to cry. It's great to finally meet you, Emma. Girls' lunch, Jess announced. I made reservations. The restaurant was beautiful. Emma, Jess, Claire, Margaret, Vanessa, and me, all seated around a table discussing marriage and happiness and forever. I remember when my friend Sarah got married, Claire said, sipping her wine. Her fiancé cheated on her a week before the wedding. She found out at the rehearsal dinner. My fork clattered against my plate. What did she do? Emma asked. Called it off. Publicly. Humiliated him in front of everyone. Claire's eyes met mine. Briefly, she said she'd rather be embarrassed once than make a mistake that would last forever. Good for her, Margaret said pointedly. Women who don't appreciate what they have deserve to lose it. My phone buzzed incessantly under the table. Ryan, again and again. Ryan, we need to meet. This is important. Ryan, Maya, answer me. Ryan, I'm not going away. Excuse me, I said, standing. I need to take this call. Outside, I texted him back.me. Fine, coffee shop on 5th, 1 hour. This is the last time. When I arrived, Ryan was already there, looking angry and hurt. What the hell, Maya? You can't just cut me off like this. Yes, I can. I'm getting married tomorrow. To a guy you don't even love. You don't know anything about what I feel, don't I? He leaned forward. You're with him because he's safe, because he makes sense. But you're with me because you actually feel something. What I feel for you is a mistake. You can't just throw me away. I love you. The words hit me like cold water. What? I love you, Maya. I thought you felt the same way. This was never supposed to be serious. It was just what? Just sex? Just fun? His voice rose. Maybe for you. But I thought we had something real. We don't. We can't. I'm marrying Daniel. Then why did you keep coming back to me? I didn't have an answer. At least not one I could say out loud. We're done, Ryan. Don't contact me again. I stood to leave. You're making a mistake, he called after me. Maybe I was. But I'd already made so many. What was one more? I didn't notice Tom sitting in the corner booth, coffee untouched. His phone pointed directly at us. The wedding day arrived with cruel sunshine and a perfect blue sky. I stood in the bridal suite, surrounded by flowers and laughter, wearing my white dress like the liar I was. I had no idea that in less than 2 hours, Daniel would know everything. Oh, Maya, Emma breathed, tears in her eyes. You're the most beautiful bride I've ever seen. Jess was crying too, fixing my veil with shaking hands. I'm so happy for you and Daniel are going to have the most amazing life together. Stop, you're going to make me cry, I said, but my voice sounded hollow even to my own ears. Nervous? Jess asked. Terrified, I admitted. But not for the reason she thought. The music started. My father appeared at the door, his face unreadable as he offered his arm. We walked down the aisle and I saw Daniel at the altar. But something was wrong. His face was too calm, too composed. His eyes met mine and there was something in them I'd never seen before. The ceremony began. The officiants spoke about love, commitment, trust. Each word felt like an accusation. If anyone has any reason why these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. The silence stretched. Then Daniel spoke. Actually, I object. The chapel went completely silent. My heart stopped. Daniel? I whispered. I object to marrying someone who's been cheating on me for 6 months. His voice was steady, controlled, but underneath I could hear the devastation. Someone who invited her affair partner to her bachelorette party. Someone who kissed him while wearing the ring I gave her. What are you? A screen lit up behind the altar. Photos, me and Ryan dancing, me and Ryan kissing, me and Ryan at the coffee shop yesterday. Gasps rippled through the chapel. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. Margaret's expression was triumphant. Daniel, please, let me explain. Explain what? His voice finally cracked. Explain how you betrayed me? How you lied to my face every single day? How you were planning to marry me while still seeing him? I ended it. I told him yesterday. You told him yesterday, the day before our wedding. Daniel laughed, but it was a broken sound. I loved you, Maya. I would have given you everything. My whole life, my whole heart. And you threw it away for someone who meant nothing. He doesn't mean anything. You're the one I don't. Daniel held up his hand. Don't you dare say you love me. If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. Tom appeared beside him, his hand on Daniel's shoulder. Daniel looked at the crowd, family, friends, coworkers, all staring at me with shock and disgust. I'm sorry everyone came all this way, but I won't marry someone who doesn't respect me, who doesn't respect herself. He looked at me one last time. I hope whatever you were looking for was worth it. Then he walked out. The chapel erupted, crying, shouting, people pulling out their phones. I stood frozen at the altar, still wearing my white dress. Exposed and humiliated in front of everyone I knew, I stood alone in the empty chapel, still wearing my wedding dress, mascara running down my face. Everyone was gone, Daniel the guest. My parents, who couldn't even look at me. Even Jess had left, too shocked and disappointed to stay. My father had pulled me aside before leaving. I don't even know what to say to you, he said, his voice hollow. How could you do this? Dad, don't. He walked away without looking back. Margaret appeared then, her expression cold and satisfied. I always knew you weren't good enough for my son. Now everyone else knows it too. Emma stood behind her mother, tears streaming down her face. I thought you were different, she whispered. I thought you really loved him. I do love him. No, you don't. Emma's voice broke. If you loved him, you wouldn't have destroyed him like this. Claire just stared at me, her judgment written across every line of her face. Vanessa looked at me like I was a stranger, her mentor exposed as a fraud. Then Jess returned. Not to comfort me, but to say what she needed to say. I need space from you, Maya? Her voice was cold. I don't even know who you are. I thought I knew you, but this is unforgivable. Jess, please. I introduced you to Daniel. I helped plan your wedding. I stood by you through everything. She shook her head. I feel like an idiot. Like I've been defending someone who doesn't even exist. I tried calling Daniel 37 times. Every call went straight to voicemail. He'd blocked me. In desperation, I called Ryan. No answer. I texted him. Nothing. He'd vanished. Avoiding the fallout he'd helped create. When I finally made it back to the apartment, my things were already packed in boxes. Daniel's note was taped to the largest one, his handwriting neat and controlled. Even in his devastation, I never want to see you again. Everything you need is here. I've paid through the end of the month. After that, you're on your own. Don't contact me. Don't try to explain. There's nothing you can say that will change what you did. Goodbye, Maya. I sank to the floor, still wearing my wedding dress, surrounded by boxes containing the remnants of my life. The dress felt like it was suffocating me. I ripped off the veil, then the dress itself, sitting in my underwear among the ruins of everything I'd destroyed. That night, I didn't sleep. I just sat there, my phone full of blocked numbers, my life full of closed doors, finally understanding the full weight of what I'd done. The next weeks were a blur of shame and consequences. I'd destroyed my life in one reckless moment, and the ripples kept spreading, touching everything I'd built. Mr. Harrison called me into his office 3 days after the wedding that never happened. Maya, I'm going to be direct. This situation has become problematic for the company. I understand, but my personal life has become very public. We've had clients asking questions. Our reputation is built on trust and integrity. He folded, his hands on his desk. I think it would be best if you took an extended leave of absence. You're firing me. I'm suggesting you take time to sort out your personal affairs indefinitely. In the hallways, Vanessa avoided me completely. The coworker, who used to bring me coffee and ask for career advice, now couldn't even make eye contact. My social media exploded. Messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years, all weighing in on my life. I always knew there was something off about you. Poor Daniel, he deserves so much better. Karma is going to destroy you. Some wedding vendors posted about the dramatic cancellation, and suddenly my story was gossip, entertainment for strangers who didn't know me. I tried to explain myself to anyone who would listen. I don't know why I did it. I was scared of commitment. Ryan made me feel alive. But even to my own ears, the excuses sounded pathetic. Nothing justified what I'd done. I finally tracked Ryan down at his studio. He looked tired, uncomfortable. Maya, what are you doing here? I needed to talk to someone who understands. Understands what? You made me the villain in your story. Everyone thinks I'm some homewrecker who destroyed your perfect relationship. You're not. I'm dealing with my own shit now, Maya. My reputation is trashed. I've lost clients. People are calling me every name in the book. His voice was bitter. You said this was just fun. Just casual. Then you invited me to your bachelorette party like some kind of sick game. I thought, what? That I'd just disappear when you were done with me? That there'd be no consequences. He shook his head. Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. Even my affair partner didn't want me anymore. I moved into a tiny studio apartment, a fraction of the size of the place I'd shared with. Daniel, I unfriended dozens of people on social media, but I couldn't escape seeing Daniel through mutual friends. He was already healing, surrounded by family and friends. Tom posted a picture of them hiking, Daniel smiling genuinely. He was. Moving on. Everyone was moving on. Everyone except me. I hit rock bottom on a Tuesday afternoon. Sitting in my empty apartment, unemployed and alone, finally forced to ask the question I've been avoiding. Why did I do it? Not the surface reasons. The real ones. I pulled out a notebook and started writing, trying to understand myself. I'd been running from intimacy my entire life. Every time someone got too close, I found a way to sabotage it. High school boyfriend who wanted to meet my parents? I cheated. College relationship that got serious? I broke it off abruptly. Every good thing I destroyed. Daniel's perfection made me feel inadequate, like I didn't deserve him. So I sought validation from Ryan, someone who didn't know me well enough to see my flaws. The cheating made me feel powerful and control. But it was an illusion. I thought about my patterns. Previous relationships I'd ended. Jobs I'd walked away from. The constant feeling that I didn't deserve happiness, so I destroyed it before it could be taken away. I looked up therapists, but without a job, I couldn't afford it. So I just kept writing page after page of self-analysis that wouldn't change anything but at least helped me understand. I wrote a letter to Daniel that I'd never send. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to ask for forgiveness. You deserve neither my excuses nor the burden of my apology. I betrayed you in the worst possible way, and I take full responsibility. You were right about everything. I didn't respect you. I didn't respect myself. I don't know if I even understood what love was. I destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me because I couldn't believe I deserved it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You deserve someone who sees your worth. I hope you find her. Maya, I folded the letter and put it in a drawer. He'd never read it. He'd blocked me completely, erased me from his life. As he should have. 2 weeks later, I ran into Emma at a grocery store. She froze when she saw me, clearly torn between compassion and loyalty. Emma, hi. Maya. She didn't move. Toward me, how is he? Daniel? She hesitated. He's doing better. He doesn't ask about you anymore. The words hurt more than I expected. Not just forgotten, but actively not caring. I was truly erased. That's good. I'm glad he's okay. Emma studied my face. I hope you figure out whatever made you do that, Maya. For your own sake, not for Daniel. He's moved on. But you look haunted. I am. Get help. Real help. Because whatever this was, she gestured at me, at my sweatpants and unwashed hair. You can't keep living like this. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't even kindness, really. But it was the most human interaction I'd had in weeks, and I clung to it like a lifeline. Asterisk 6 months later, I was still living with the wreckage. But somewhere in the ruins, I was starting to find pieces of someone I might actually want to be. I found a new job at a small startup. Nothing glamorous, nothing impressive. Just honest work where nobody knew my history. I introduced myself and left my past where it belonged behind me. I started going to free therapy through a community center. Dr. Martinez was patient, asking questions I didn't want to answer. Why do you think you sabotage good things? Because I don't think I deserve them. And where does that belief come from? The work was hard. Some days I woke up devastated all over again, the weight of what I'd lost crushing me. But I kept going. One afternoon, I saw Daniel through a coffee shop window. He was with a woman, petite, dark-haired, laughing at something he said. He looked happy, really, genuinely happy. The way he used to look at me before I ruined everything I left before. He could see me. In my car, I cried. Not because I thought we could get back together. I knew that was impossible. But because he was okay. He'd survived me. I wrote to Jess a long email taking full accountability, no excuses. No justifications, just truth. I'm not asking you to forgive me or be my friend again. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. You deserved better than my lies. Daniel deserved better. Everyone deserved better. I'm getting help. I'm trying to understand why I did what I did. Not to excuse it, but to make sure I never hurt someone like that again. Thank you for being my friend when I didn't deserve one. I hope you're happy. Maya, she responded 3 weeks later. *, I appreciate the apology. I'm not ready to be friends again.